Your suffering is not a sign that God abandoned you. It might be a sign that he's shaping you. Have you ever noticed that when life gets really hard, the very first thought that a lot of guys have is, if God is really good and if God really loves me, then why is this happening? You know, it's one of the oldest lies that the enemy loves to whisper. Because if he can't convince you that God doesn't exist, he's simply going to convince you that God isn't good. But Romans 8:28 reveals the truth. And we know that in all things, God works for good of those who love him. Notice how it doesn't say all things are good. Listen, the bottom line is some stuff's gonna hurt you. Some stuff is gonna press you, and it might leave scars that last years. But God says that he works through all of those things. Think about the darkest moment in human history. It was the trial, torture, and crucifixion of Jesus Christ. If you stood there on that day, if you had zero knowledge of the resurrection, nothing about that moment would look good. It would look like the worst failure of God's plan yet. But in fact, it was the greatest act of God's love ever. Peter said, "This man was handed over to you by God's deliberate plan and foreknowledge." Acts 2:23. Because God was doing his best work at the moment that it looked like evil was winning. So why would our lives look any different? Paul writes in Romans 8:32, "He who did not spare his own son." Like, are you listening to this? If God didn't spare his own son, even though he loved him perfectly, then why are we assuming that our lives are going to be free from pain, sacrifice, or difficulty? God isn't cruel. He's a good God. God is so good, and he values your eternal salvation more than your temporary comfort. In John 16:33, Jesus said, "In this world you will have trouble, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world." You know, it doesn't matter what happens in your life. God is always good, and he has good things planned for you.